even more flooding in as we speak. Nice, nice, nice. If you're new here, say hi in the chat. If you're not new here, say hi in the chat. Just say hi in the chat. So we will wait for the room to fill up a little bit more. We'll give it 3 more minutes until 7:05. Tick tock, tick tock. We need some muzak. I keep saying that. I never do it. Anyone good at humming? I feel like I've reused that joke so often. Yeah, Team China, you should sleep. They're just so excited about the launch of Gina now that nobody is sleeping. I'm going to tell the boss we should hire a musician just to fill these awkward moments. Otherwise, I'm going to have to share some really awful 1970s elevator music. Who said beatboxing? Maybe we could beatbox. Oh, like a group thing. We've tried singing Happy Birthday over Zoom before, Shreya. It did not go well. What makes you think this will go better? But you're welcome to start. Okay, Shreya, you kick it off and we'll all jump in.
Okay, but you have to jump in. Like, you can't leave me hanging like you did last time we sang Happy Birthday.
Everyone left everyone hanging because of lag.
See, that's the problem.
Okay, pre-record a beatboxing thing and we'll play it next time, I promise.
Perfect.
And that offer stands for all of you as well. The best beatboxer of hell will make it our theme tune for all our future events, the waiting time. We'll get you some ridiculous swag for it. And we'll be starting in less than a minute because it is now 19:04 or 7:04 p.m. As I said before, say hi in the chat if you didn't say hi already. Okay, and let's get this show on the road. So, yeah, first up, a couple of quick announcements that we've got a big thing to announce. And if you ask cool questions about it, you'll get some swag. And also, if you do play with it and then share your own use case with a video on social media in the next 24 hours, the top 3 use cases will get extra special swag. So stay tuned for more information on that. We'll have it on our Slack pretty soon. So if you're not a member of our Slack already, join us on slack.gina.ai. So yeah, welcome to, I think, the 3rd edition of Gina AI's Office Hour. Some of us drink beer here, so it can be difficult to keep track. So yeah, this is the place where we all get together, we ask questions, we get help to build our whatever cool thing it is that we're building. I'm going to stop talking for now, and I'm going to welcome the fabulous Florian to present what we've got in store, our cool new product. And yeah, take it away, Flo.
Hey, Alex, thanks a lot. I think you have to mute yourself. Thanks a lot for this
wonderful. All the time, even when I'm not on Zoom.
Okay, thanks a lot for this fabulous introduction. So that's very cool. As Alex told you already, we have a big announcement, and so we would like to show you our new product called Gina Now. And yeah, as the name suggests, we're aiming to shorten the period of you decide you would like to have your search case up and running, and then you actually get it deployed somewhere. And of course, it's not like in this very moment, but we're working on this, making this period smaller. But now, like for most cases, it takes like 10 minutes or 50 minutes to deploy, also based on the internet connection, because at the end you have to upload also your data, right? Okay, so Gina, as you know, is a search framework, and you can create your customized apps, and all these customization always comes, of course, with a certain complexity and a certain knowledge you have to build up to deploy your preferred search case. So you have to learn a bit about this concept of a flow, executor, what a document array is, how to push something to the hub, how to do fine-tuning, and so on. So very powerful things, and also still you can get most out of it by learning our framework and then doing this deployment. But if you just would like to get something up and running very quickly, maybe for some cases this is already just enough, you don't have to invest much time, then you can just deploy one of our recurring patterns. So we built a lot of search cases in the last month or years. And when doing this, we realized that some of all these components are always kind of the same. So you always have an encoder, which creates your vector, and then you have an indexer where you put this vector into. Of course, fine tuning is a part, and pushing to the hub, as I said, and then hosting all your solution, like end-to-end, deploying your front end where you can just run some search queries. And we made this effort building just once, and you can just use this out of the box, just provide your data, and then benefit from our work we did there. And yeah, so obviously this is just possible because all the teams are working quite hard on their domain. So we're just the tip of the iceberg, so to say. So we like integrated all the Gina products and execute them in automated way. But yeah, be aware that is not all built by our team, but we are just using this framework in a very clever way. So, and let's directly jump into some demo case. So I quickly share my screen. So here I just deployed a small search case for you. And so this is what you get as result. Right, I will show you later how to do this, and also encourage you to do it yourself, maybe even at the same time. Let's just as you can see, you can also choose image modality or use your webcam, and then you get image results, because in this case we deployed an image search case, so you can find images. Or like something else, like tree. And then this is kind of funny bit, because the model, I deployed it with like small or medium quality, and that's why the model is not too clever to detect that this is actually not a tree. But on the first look, it looks like for the model might be a tree, but all the other things are quite related to trees. So yeah, but we can also go for something else, like horse. And then you see also that it always gives 9 results, right? And even if there is nothing more, no other horse exists in the data set, it will just give the closest to what it thinks a horse will be. Or maybe for your someone coming too late to the party. So maybe for your specific search case, you would not like to show the user, hey, this is also, all of these are horses, even they look a bit like in some way. So you have this confidence threshold where you can find, like, can specify, like, doing this, for instance, then you have no results. So the model will never be so confident, but then you can maybe put it here, you have all results, and then you find like your perfect threshold. Okay, let's maybe adjust it a bit, and then you find out for your specific case what the threshold will be, and yeah, then you can use this later in your custom frontend you might implement to choose exactly this threshold, and then you're sure that you don't have too many false positives shown, based on your use case. All right, and now I would like to encourage everyone. Could you open terminal, and we can just together install Gina. So this was the run for my previous deployment. So as you can see, I started it and I got asked a bunch of questions, and at the end it gives me the URL to the front end.
We can't see your terminal.
Oh, of course not, because I prevented you from seeing it. So I have to be a bit cautious of what to reveal and what not. All the secrets on my machine. Okay, let's give this a try. Looks better now.
Looking good.
Okay, so let's all start. First of all, who's in trying this out? Yep. Bastian is in. Okay, then we do special round for Sebastian. Okay, we start with a fresh environment. There is an echo. Alex. Alex, could you mute yourself?
I can still see the cow terminal.
Yeah, but we need to mute you. Otherwise, we have an echo.
Huh?
So both our microphones are on, and therefore there's an echo.
I can still see the cow terminal.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, right.
Okay, let's clear. You cannot, but you can. Okay.
I can't.
Everyone sees the console? Yes? Okay. Okay. So the biggest technical challenge is solved. Now it becomes easy because we use Gina now. Okay. Now just make sure I remove my current environment and start fresh from new one. So that you see there's like nothing on my system. Just creating an environment. So activating this environment. And now I install Gina. And I think during this installation and also all the deployment, there will be some time which we could wisely use for some questions to answer already. So if someone, as you remember, you get tracked for it, have a question, then that would be good, a moment to ask. Now that moment is past because I program execution finished. So Gina, now start. And we just installed Gina, and now we can use Gina now. but there will be now the command prompt that Gina now is not installed, because we cannot install like all our applications just with pip install Gina. It would be just take too much resource, and like maybe not everyone wants to use all of them. So now we do as the program is telling us. Again, good time for question.
So we do have one question, but it's not about Gina now. Oh, how is Gina now different?
For different, we the relation, and we need another entity to compare with. But I guess you mean how is it different to Gina, right? You could see it as a high-level API, and you will see in a second, because now we do Gina now start, and this is something like you cannot do with normal Gina, because now you get like a wizard for setting up your search case. You can choose your modality you're searching for, or you would like to have shown in the results. And also have in mind that this list will be extended. Right? This is just the beginning. We start with some image search, because also we're quite comfortable currently with the quality. And yeah, then we have people working on music case and also text search case, which is currently in experimental, so you could try already. But let's go now with our smiley data set and deploy that one. There are a bunch of data sets you could choose from, just something to make it easy, because not everyone has some data lying around, some image data. And then in this case, we just select custom, and yeah, just use local path. And this path, I just have to copy, download some emojis from Kaggle, and now use the Google emojis. So I copy the path and insert it here. Return. So now we can select the quality, and just the other ones take a bit longer, so stay with medium. But I encourage you also trying out the larger model sizes, because then it's less prone for error. And here I have some Kubernetes clusters already where I could deploy it, and I just deployed on this one. Then since yesterday, there's this feature of using sandbox. So if your machine is not capable of like doing too much calculation, then you could also outsource this computation to us. So it also means routing the traffic through our service. So not really recommended for private data you don't want to share. And so no, not using sandbox. Then it sees, yeah, I already deployed such a search case. So now let's remove the old one and then redeploy. Okay, and this will now take like 5 to 10 minutes, I guess. So now we should definitely switch to some questions. And yeah, because otherwise we're just waiting and staring at the screen.
All right. So you wanted questions? We got questions. So a question from Anonymous twice, or to Anonymous, to Anonymice. How much memory does Gina now use?
How much what?
Memory.
Okay, so we put here. Alex, could you mute yourself? So we put here 5 gig to 8 gig. Yeah, depends also a bit on the data set size, but this is a number you're good to go with. And then you also have to allocate this to your Docker. So if I think default setting could be like 2 GB reserved for your Docker daemon, and then it's not enough. So you should reserve a bit more like this, like 5 to 8 GB. But if you use Sandbox, then I think you can allocate like 2 gigs or maybe even 1 would be enough. Because yeah, the heavy load, the heavy model is then on our service.
All right.
Good question, by the way.
All right, we have another question. If the images don't have any text animation annotations, then how does it classify both horse and, I'm trying to see what that other one is, hobby horse, carousel horse, emoji as horses? Don't they have different feature points?
I see. So you're asking, like, in this case, the data I provide is really just the list of images, and we don't do fine-tuning in this case. So because fine-tuning would also take a bit longer, you can try later on your own with, for instance, a fashion data set from this selection here. And so, okay, what was the question? Oh no, Alex, help me out. What was the question? Yes.
All right, I'm going to say the question again. If the images don't have any text annotations.
Yeah. Okay, yes. So the model is pre-trained by OpenAI. And this means they trained on like 200 million images. So it has a lot of zero-shot capability, and therefore has basically seen all possible pictures on the internet. So it has not much problem detecting emoji, detecting, seeing something in X-ray images and stuff. But yeah, mostly things which people post online. So like kind of like common sense or general knowledge image. So like fashion is good, or like people make a photo of their food, and all this stuff people usually post online. For these, we don't need labels, but yeah, when it comes to some special medical data the model has maybe not seen so often, then labels are really necessary to give good results.
All right, next question. How do you manage this is from Giancarlo. How do you manage quality of results? Do you use different vector search algorithms under the hood? If so, which ones?
So it's using brute force search at the moment, because for these small data sets we're using here, this is totally fine. But in the next releases, we can also say if someone comes with 1 million images, so we could use a bit smarter indexer like FICE or Annoy indexer or something, HNSW or so. And yeah, so then it's a bit of trade-off of quality of results. But since you have so much data, then you don't care so much about having all results shown. It's okay to miss some of the results. But at the moment, it's like the very accurate results based on what the model is saying. So no compromise there.
All right. So, Florian, do you want to continue with the thing now that it has finished spinning its wheels?
Yes, yes.
We'll have more questions later, and we will answer your questions. Don't worry. Don't run away. Don't change that channel.
Okay. Then, as you could see here, there was a small pre-processing happening of the images. So maybe not all images are JPEG, so they first have to be compressed, because we don't want to store, like, let's assume this was my vacation images, which I ran actually a couple of days ago. I found it quite interesting, like just exploring my own vacation images. Of course, nothing I would now share in public, but it's cool that you just type you just type beach and then get all the beach images, or type me and my girlfriend, and really photos of two persons, like not always me and my girlfriend, but like two persons show up, and it's quite interesting to explore. And for this, you need to like somehow downscale also the images, so compress them a bit, because we don't want to upload like 5 gigabytes, maybe to a remote cluster or something. So here, therefore, preprocess, also model only sees images in a resolution of 224 times 224, and therefore would be scaled down anyway. So just a performance improvement here. Then here you can see that the Gina, so if you worked with Gina before, then you know you can export your Gina flow into YAML configuration, which is then sent to your Kubernetes cluster, and Kubernetes pulls all the executors and connects the gateway, and then gives you a service for connecting with your flow. And after this is done, this YAML configuration is created, then this is the deployment of the flow. Then we start indexing all these emojis. And then it's just also deploying the front end to the same Kubernetes cluster and give us these URL. In case of a remote deployment, of course, would be like a remote address, and load balancer in the cloud will be created. So now when I switch the screen, then I have to, I'm learning. So I also have to share the screen there again. Yeah, and then can also use a webcam, maybe. Webcam feature. And search for smileys looking like me. Okay. I like that one. Red hair. Okay, this one is the best. But this one I don't know. Maybe the facial expression was matching. So yeah, any more questions? Also just type colors, and then so it's really general on what we could type. Now I'm very curious, getting more questions.
All right, I'm back in the room. What is the unit for the confidence filter you showed in the Streamlit demo? Asks Mike T. Mike Tyson? Wow, we got a celebrity in here.
Yeah, but Alex, could you mute yourself?
Sorry, what is, oh.
Could you, so this unit, it's a cosine similarity, I guess, I hope.
Sorry. Yes, it's a cosine similarity that we are using here, and as we know
that. Next question.
Oh, okay.
From Anonymous. my understanding is that flow is the highest level of abstraction for Gina. Would it be correct to say that Gina now is kind of like the abstraction layer over flow?
Yes, I like to say this. It is like this, yeah. Just you choose very abstract configuration, like what's your case, like very general, like a menu, and then based on this menu you choose, you can make also some small adjustments to this. But yeah, it's a high level description of the search case, and then the flow gets generated. Maybe in the future, multiple flows get deployed or whatever. Yeah.
Next up, we have Roar. Is Gina now just restricted to clip?
No, actually no. So now maybe Sebastian, you want to say something about this? Because you currently introducing the music case, which also uses another model.
Yes, sure. Yes, as you said, Florian, so it's not really restricted to clip. It's just what we are using for the image modality. And for the music case, for example, we are using a model called OpenL3, which was trained on exactly music data. And in the future, there will be also other kinds of audio data becoming, like environmental sounds. And for those, we would use other models, of course. So the model is oftentimes selected based on the modality, which fits best, because we hope to get the best performance out of that. I hope that answers. Thanks.
If it doesn't answer, drop a note in the chat and we'll loop right back into that. Exactly. Another question from Raur. I'm going to mess that up more every time I say it, I swear. Is Gina now applicable for 3D search? Because that'd be really cool. Very cool, sorry.
Oh, stay tuned. There will come something. We will integrate a 3D mesh search. So just a quick question back. So what would we actually expect from this 3D model search? That you insert the text string and then get your 3D model, or you upload a 3D model and then get similar models. So I think we will have to tweak everything a bit depending on that specific use case, because like it sounds very similar, but actually a bit different. So I would be very curious if you can maybe write later again, or just raise your voice right now. What would you expect?
I am being told to pronounce your name Rava. I hope Shreya is not just trolling me on that one. We shall see. She can be a menace. So another question from Rava. Image-to-image search artifacts for 3D search. Oh, that's the answer to your question, Florian.
Yeah, image-to-image search. I mean, you can do some 2D projections from the 3D model, of course, and then you reduce the problem to an image search problem. Maybe we also do it like this, but let's see. But another way would be to use point clouds. And then let's assume you have some complicated 3D object, which looks like same from outside, but very different inside compared to another 3D model. And then some technical pieces or like templates for whatever. And then the point cloud might be much better to directly compare it in this 3D space.
Some people are getting stuck in a loop when they're trying to pip install Gina now. I think we can come back to that and give you some live support in a little while. If you too have the issue, drop a note in the chat. Let's see how widespread this is. But yeah, we will come back to that, and you can screen share and we'll sort you out, but we'll just go through the other questions first, I think. Question from Alex, not me, the other one. What are best practices for deploying indexer executors for production?
So this is a general Gina question, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I only saw that after I started reading it. Anyone want to take that question? Everyone's pointing at Sammy. Pressure's on, dude.
Yeah, I'm here. So best practice to deploy indexer in production. So the first best practice will be probably to use a vector database that Docker Array supports. So namely Quadrant, Weaviate, and Milviews. If you really want to make it to production, you should use one of those vector database because it's supported by default by Gina and Docker Array. Otherwise, you should be able to, you need to deploy your vector database and then you need to connect it to it via an executor that you will define. Hope it answer your question.
All right, and as I said before, if that didn't answer your question, leave a note in the chat and we'll loop back to it. I see another question from Alex. We'll come back to that in a little while because there's a question from Piyush, and I'm butchering everyone's names tonight, so I apologize for that. But the question is, can you fine-tune results from Gina now?
Yes, and to actually fine-tune, you have to provide a label. And yeah, if you just load your data from a local directory, then there's no general way of defining a label. We were thinking of the folder name, or you have another file attached to this, the text document defining labels. But we are thinking like the best is if you start using document array, and therefore each document you can set the fine-tuner label in the text. So if you work a bit with a document array, then you know there is document array consists of documents, and each document has this text attribute. And if you set the value fine-tuner label to some class, whatever class it is, then you can use this whole document array as input for Gina now, and then automatically fine-tuning happens. So in this case I showed right now, like there was no such label, so it didn't do fine-tuning. But if you provide it, then you're good to go. And the way you define it is based on your search case. So whatever you think it's similar, it should be displayed together with the search result, should also get the same label. So for instance, if your search case is fashion, and then you would like to have an image-to-image search, then obviously you make a photo for from someone or some clothing, and you would like to find something similar in your database. So it means like different pictures of the exact same fashion item should have the same class. This is how you provide then class annotations. So you could then use some fashion data sets where you have exactly this different perspectives of the same product.
Awesome. I am looking forward to trying that on my fashion search that I have at examples.gina.ai. Little self-plug there. All right, next up we've got Alex again. Looping back to this, what are the advantages of using Weaviate over other database hosting services with Gina? And again, this is not a now question, but who can take that? Any takers?
Yeah, well, if you are using Weaviate, it means that you delegate the vector database to professional tools. I'm not saying that we are not professional tool. In the contrary, just like the vector part, we are not handling it ourselves. Other products are here to handle it. And so the advantage of using Weaviate is that you will have both fast retrieval for information and you will preserve accuracy. depending on the parameters that you use for the approximate nearest neighbor approximation. But yes, that's mainly the advantage. And I'm not sure that right now you can do it, but with V8 in the future, I guess you will be able to replicate your vector database so that, let's say you have a failure, like the node on which the data is stored will go down, then you still be able to retrieve your information because it's kind of duplicate between two replica. So that's mainly the point of using an external vector database, is to rely on database software to handle all of your data.
All right, really scrolling down the list of questions now. What was the command after installing with pip? Gina now start?
Yes, it's Gina now start.
And you can add a whole bunch of other arguments with that, right?
Yep, that's true. And for every argument you don't set, then it will ask you a question. But it can also be executed on CD, for instance, or like continuous delivery pipeline, where, of course, like you push something and then you cannot log into your to the console and then answer the question yourself. So you can also hand over parameters, and then the question will not be asked.
I was really confused when you said that. I thought for a second CD-ROM, and I was just shot back to the 90s. All right, more questions on Gina now, anybody? Could Gina now support open domain question answering? Asks Alex.
Yeah, the purpose of Gina now is to solve like a lot of search related problems. And yeah, question answering could be framed as actually a search problem. So we're aiming yeah, to do this in the future. Yeah, we go step by step, and also like the decision, like which search case to integrate next is of course based on your user feedback. And since you now ask this question, like, I think it's more likely that we implement this rather earlier, because it seems like there's demand for this.
All right, and now from Vincent. Good to see you again, buddy. Will the direction for Gina now be for simple use cases and Gina for more complex / custom cases? Or will the focus and energy be more on Gina now moving forward?
Yeah, so Gina now can be used for simple use cases. Of course, we just realized that a lot of people actually also require the simple use cases and then don't have to go further and do some customization. So it's also for these users. It's also for just trying it out, and then you can see, like, if I can already achieve like this good results, what could I even do when I invest the effort and learn the framework, learn about flow concept, and make some customization, do custom pre-processing, and then most likely you can have even much better results.
Thanks.
And what is the future of Gina now in one line? Well, it's already one line of code, but I think you mean like a one sentence summary of the future of Gina now, right?
Yeah, like one line to host them all.
And in the darkness bind them. My Lord of the Rings quotes are terrible because I never actually read it or watched it. But so everyone pile in the chat and say how wrong I am. Another one from Alex. Have you ever thought of using Gina as an image search solution for categorizing contents of a PDF file? Dealing with PDFs is tricky. Oh man, can I ever relate to it? I'm doing something semi-similar actually. So hit me up on Slack about that. Well, you already did, but Florian.
Yeah, so categorizing sounds like giving some labels or tags, or like sounds more like a classification problem, like putting something in categories instead of putting things into relation to say, this is similar to this one. So I feel like it's a bit of a different problem, which of course could also tackle with our framework, but we would for now focus more on the search related cases.
What exactly Gina is about? Wow, that's quite the question. Gina is love. Gina is life. Gina is everything you need to build your neural search application. We might come back to that, but check out Jina AI. It'll tell you more about who we are and what we do. And now on to another question, more about Gina now. Yes, clip fine-tuning required data set to have text-to-image mapping, such as tokenization text with images directories. Is it possible with Gina now?
Okay, I don't know if I get this question right, but I tried to answer it anyways. So this to me goes more to this document array question we had before. So where you pre-process your data in the way you want, but is like right now not taken over by Gina now. So you have to use document array for this, and then put your fine-tuner label into the text of the documents. I hope this answers your question.
Maybe I can answer to make it better clear. So now the closed source version of fine-tuner do support clip.
All right, I think those are most of the questions. So if you have more, keep them coming because we got all night. Well, some of us need to sleep, but you know. So a question from Piyush. Can you please talk more on the future of fine-tuner?
Can you hear me?
Who here can do that?
Yeah, so there's one audio setup problem, I guess. So Alex, can you hear other people from the channel? Because Kalim said something and also Bo said something.
Everyone else speak up now. I silenced my audio, but someone open your mic and say hello.
Hi, can you hear me? Maybe I can answer this question about how to, I can answer two questions about how to fine-tune clip and what is the future of fine-tuner. So basically in our closed source version about fine-tuner, we already support clip fine-tuning. What you need to input of the document is you just need to input a document array. This document array contains a list of documents. Then each document could have two chunks. The first chunk is your cross-modality text chunk. The other chunk is your maybe image document. You just make them into a pair of documents. Then you fit into the fine-tuner, and fine-tuner will fine-tune this clip model for you. And the future about fine-tuner, currently we are developing closed source version of fine-tuner. And in the meantime, we are also developing a fine-tuner API, which allows you to call the fine-tuner. But you will not directly interact with the fine-tuner API. You will interact with another tool called fine-tuner API client. This is the new version of fine-tuner. Basically, you can fit your document array and everything happens in the cloud and give you the fine-tuned model. That is the near future of fine-tuner. In the long term, because currently we support based on the text and images with labeled data, we are considering to allow users to fine-tune on unlabeled data. How does that work? So we will adopt a machine learning technique or deep learning technique called self-supervised learning. SSL. This will help us to learn a data distribution on the unlabeled data. And after this kind of pre-training on the unlabeled data, we will allow users to have kind of an interface to label maybe 100 items using an active learning manner to further fine-tune this model. So that is the future of fine-tuning. So first thing we will allow you to fine tune in the cloud, so you don't have to have your like GPU devices. And the second thing is we will try to support cross-modality fine tuning and fine tune with unlabeled data. That's it.
Good stuff. Thanks, Bo. All right. So more questions. If you have questions, put them into the form. Though I do see one in the chat, and please put it in the form as well, so we can have a count of how many questions are asked. It helps us a lot. But Mathu Panjak, I hope I'm saying your name right. So document array where each document is a pair of documents chunks, i.e. one for image, one for image. Maybe you mean one for image, one for text. So it can be supplied as fine-tune a data set. So is that how it works? Well,
yes, what you need, just prepare a pair of image and text pair, and you tell us you want to use clip for fine tuning, then everything will happen in the cloud. That's basically it.
Good stuff. Thank you. All right. Any more questions? All right. Nothing is coming in, but we did have Mike getting stuck into a loop when installing Gina now. Mike, is that still happening? If it is, drop a note in the chat and we shall look into it. Okay, I'm not seeing a note in the chat, and it seems Mike has left the building. He doesn't seem to appear in the chat participants, in the Zoom participants, sorry. All right, is anyone working on any very cool Gina projects, or any Gina projects? We're open-minded. Any Gina projects that they want to share? If so, you can turn on your mic or leave a note in the chat, and we can talk about those. All right, well, it is coming up to the top of the hour. So just a quick reminder, folks, if you want to learn more about Gina now, go to now.gina.ai. We've got a blog post about it up on our Medium blog. We're going to be having lots more stuff going out over the next few days. Thank you so much to everyone who asked questions about Gina now. We will have swag to send your way, so be sure to stick to our Slack for info on that. You can join the swag channel to keep updated. And as I said before, we're also going to be sending some extra special swag to people who build your own thing with Gina now. So not just one of the out-of-the-box demos, you've actually got to build your own search engine for all the pictures of ice cream you've taken over the years, because that's what you're into. And that's not a random example. I have a friend who is seriously thinking about that. So all the more impetus for you to build your own thing and share it before he shares his. We want you to get that swag, not that freaky ice cream lover. All right, so one of the cool things about Streamlit, about our Streamlit front end, which Florian can hopefully show you, is that you can do a screen recording of your Gina Now experience. So if you do build something, you can record it right there in your browser. No muss, no fuss, no need to install any extra things. And then you can share that on Twitter or LinkedIn or MySpace or TikTok or whatever the cool kids use today. Florian, do you want to give a quick demo of that?
You're muted. You're unmuted. Giving a quick demo of the camera showcase again.
Or screen recording in Streamlit. Or I can do it.
yeah, it's
Okay, the floor is mine. Hang on, I shall just close all those sensitive ice creamy tabs. Nobody wants to see my ice cream photos. That's not a euphemism. It's ice cream photos. Keep your hair on. So let's go to example. I'll share my screen now because we actually have a live demo you can play with as well. How could we forget to mention that? All right, everyone can see this? Perfect. I'll take that as a yes. So we can go to examples.gina.ai/now. And we've got a lovely Streamlit front end going up. This is running on a slightly older version of Gina now, so we don't have the webcam, unfortunately. Now we use Streamlit for our front end because Gina's Python, Streamlit's Python, and it's cool. So the art example, you might have seen it when Florian was spinning up the Gina now instance and going through the data sets. The art data set is the smallest data set, so if you don't have much memory, that's the one to play with. And it's been fine-tuned on not the subject of the artwork, but the style, like pop art, realism, expressionism, suprematism, yada, yada, yada. And you can search by image or text. So I'll give you a quick demo just to show you what we're getting. So you can search for like Baroque. And if it ain't Baroque, don't fix it. Or pop art, or whatever you like. But now let's look at the recording capability. And this is built into Streamlit. We didn't build this, so if it breaks, blame them. So you can click on the little menu here. You can click record a screencast. Hell, also record audio. Why not? Walk us through your cool project that you build. Not from one of our stock data sets. Start recording. We'll select this tab. Share. Okay, 3, 2, 1, boom, and we are recording. So let's go for weirdest art I've ever seen in my life. What will come up? Nobody knows. Oh, children, avert your eyes. Avert your eyes. Clean, innocent, child-friendly cuteness. Please, please, okay. No. Florian, what did you build?
it's out of control, this AI.
We're going to go out of business. No. Okay, so you can also search by image. Whatever this is, some kind of cubist thing, and you, okay, phew, thank God for that. Nothing too weird to see there. Or some pointillist thing. Okay, all good. Lovely. So yes, that is how you search for questionable content while you're at work, everybody. And to stop the recording, you can just click again, stop recording. You can save it to disk. And then you can share that file directly in Twitter. Be sure to tag Jina AI and hashtag Gina now. As I said, we'll go through the projects, we'll pick the top 3, and yeah, we'll send extra special swag your way. Or you can share it on LinkedIn or whatever. If you share it on Instagram or TikTok, I mean, we're not on there, but send us a link. It's eligible. All right. I'm going to burn this, send this file straight to dev null. All right. That's the demo of how to record. And I'll check for questions again. No more questions, as far as I can see. How many people did we lose? Okay, not too many people with the awful artworks we just showed them. Sorry, I suppose that's a wrap. And Shreya, that's not an excuse for you to start rapping. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Join us same bat time, same bat channel for the next, well, no, join us in 2 weeks for the next office hours. We're probably going to do it for a different time zone then. And we've got our next engineering all hands coming up on the second Tuesday of the month. So that is May the 10th. Thank you. Thank you, Sophia, for correcting my useless arithmetic. All right, so everyone, we will see you there, where there will be a talk on using Gina to do pet breed classification. And we'll be giving talks on all the other cool new developments we've got in store. And boy, do we have plenty. Keep your eyes peeled, keep your ears open. And I can't think of any other things to say in that regard. All right, bye, everyone. Good night.